Ken Trahan with Lenny Vangilder. It's our First NBC Bank Weekend Review, brought to you by First NBC Bank, with 39 locations throughout the metropolitan New Orleans area and beyond. That's First NBC Bank, proud sponsor of SportsNOLA.com. The Saints survived. They won the shootout with Carolina, 41-38. Will Lutz earns his spot, at least for another week, right? And, no, I think he's going to be around a little bit longer, and he redeemed himself for missing one from a similar distance earlier. The Saints escaped after letting a 21-0 lead get away. Bottom line was their offense did what it had to do when it had to do it.
And they were very good. And look, I think what you saw in this game is you saw two depleted, stop short of saying bad, but definitely injury-depleted secondaries out there that you had two quarterbacks trying to take advantage of. Drew Brees at a tremendous level, over 450 yards passing, his 15th career 400-yard game. That's an NFL record. Look, that's when the other team is a little wounded out there, you've got to take advantage of it, and both sides did. It was clearly shaping up to be who's going to get the ball last, who's going to score last, and that's exactly what we saw.
So the Saints are 2-3, and they're second in the division for whatever that's worth. Bottom line is that they're in it. And now they got a tough trip to Kansas City forthcoming because the Chiefs looked really good in winning at Oakland yesterday, and they have a very good defense, and it's at home, and they're outdoors. And those are not features that really favor the Saints.
Typically not, and you wait and see what the weather is going to be and that sort of thing. It is on grass. It's a lot of elements you bring in that the Saints are not I want to say accustomed to playing to, but it's not their norm by any means. So let's see. We're getting into that tough stretch of the schedule now, from basically now through Thanksgiving is very tough. When you look at Kansas City, then Seattle, you get a little bit of a breather perhaps with San Francisco, although who knows what the 49ers are like now. And then in a 5-day span, you get the two teams that played in the Super Bowl last year, Denver, and then at Carolina, the rematch of Sunday's game.
The LSU Tigers struggled for the first half against Southern Miss, but then turned it on in the second half in a 45-10 victory. And as I've said all along, style points matter. The style looked good. The win looked good. The numbers look good. That's what it's going to take for Ed Orgeron to earn favor, not just with fans, but with administrative people and moving forward. And you got to give them credit for the job that they did in this game. And now let's see what happens. Ole Miss is 3-3, but they're a lot better than their record. They're an elite offensive team. The difference this year with Ole Miss is their defense is nowhere near what it was last year.
Exactly. And look, this is obviously Coach O's biggest test yet. And the reality is there are no more cupcakes with the schedule adjustment to finally, to get in the Florida game now on the schedule at the tail end of last week. You're basically looking at ranked teams the rest of the way. Of course, it's possible that somebody may drop out with a loss, something like that. But as it stands now, you're facing nothing but ranked teams the rest of the way.
No doubt. And Ole Miss, again, when you look at what they've done against LSU recently, they've had success offensively against the Tigers' defense, but this LSU defense has played better. And the other sidebar here, obviously, Coach Orgeron was the head coach at Ole Miss previously, so there's a lot here to devour this week, and there will be a lot of discussion about it. Tulane a loser to Memphis on Friday night, 24-14. Their defense held out as long as it could. Their offense just couldn't get anything going, and the defense finally broke.
Yeah, and look, this is again much like what we just said with LSU, where the cupcakes were over, so to speak. I think that's a lot of what Tulane saw. The first 5 games, certainly you played two pretty good teams in Navy and Wake Forest. And now you're getting into a stretch where you're going to play some really good teams. Starting with Memphis. Look what they've got Tulsa this week on the road. Tulsa, in reality, probably should have beaten Houston at Houston Saturday. They got a bad call late in the game where Houston should have gotten called for offsides and 12 men on the field. They didn't get the call. Would have gave them a chance to set up another play, and that didn't happen. So that's a tough test. You still got to go to Houston. It's not going to get any easier. But look, you still have to be impressed with what Tulane has done, just coming off of last year and what Willie Fritz has done in his first year.
High school football big weekend. We had a whole bunch of games for you at SportsNOLA.com and through WHNO Television and WGSO Radio. That will be the case again moving forward this week. We have some outstanding stuff to bring you, which we're going to tell you more about later in the week, but some really good games. And, of course, SportsNOLA TV, Monday night, 6 p.m. on WHNO TV 20. You won't want to miss that. And by the way, a plug for the Greater New Orleans Sports Foundation Quarterback Club, Tuesdays at noon at the Cannery at 3803 Toulouse Street. Good speakers on high school, college, and pro every week. and a good atmosphere with a good lunch. So everyone invited to come. $25 to pay for lunch, and here's some good speeches in the process.
Yeah, it should be. It's a good way. If you're a football fan, it's a good way to spend your lunch on Tuesday. Come on out.
Yeah, and you can watch the videos here at SportsNOLA.com and all the speakers listed as well. So we hope to see you then. Lenny, as always, thanks. Have a great week.
See you later this week.
That's our First NBC Bank Weekend Review, brought to you by First NBC Bank with 39 locations throughout southeast Louisiana and also in the Florida Panhandle. That's First NBC Bank, proud sponsor of SportsNOLA.com. For Lenny, I'm Kenny. Have a great week, and God bless you.